Hello developers, are you curious about Angular in 2025? Do you want to build fast, scalable web apps with one of the most powerful frameworks around? Well, in this video, I'll show you how to get started with Angular, and if you've never even used Angular before, it will be a great video. So let's dive in. So first of all, what is Angular? So Angular is a front-end framework developed by Google. Unlike libraries like React, Angular is a full-fledged solution, so it comes with routing, state management, and dependency injection out of the box, which makes making large-scale projects really easy. Before we get started, we will need to install Node.js and npm installed, so make sure that those are installed on your computer. So head over to the Node.js website and get that installed. If you're using a Mac or Linux, I'd highly recommend installing something like nvm. And if you're familiar with TypeScript, this will be a lot easier to understand. So the idea of this video is just to give you a little bit of an idea of how to set up a project in Angular and how to run it essentially. So it won't be a deep dive in Angular. So if you're coming from another framework, this video is ideal for you. And before we carry on, I'd really appreciate it if you can leave me a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So first of all, what we're going to do is open up our Visual Studio and open up the terminal, and we are going to our folder that we need, and in here we're going to do npm install -g at Angular CLI, and this will install Angular globally onto our machine. We'll wait for that to finish. Cool. And now to create a new project, we will do ng new my Angular app, and yep, we'll use SAS. Yep, I'll wait for that to finish. Perfect. Now we will open that folder in VS Code, and here we can see all the code in our application. So the Angular CLI makes it super easy to get started. With just a few commands, you'll have an app running locally. So now that we are in our app, let's open up the terminal again and just do serve. And yep, this will open it up in our local host 4200. And this is our new Angular application, which is great for us to get started with. Now, if we head back over to our project, you will see in here all the different all the different files that make up your application. So every Angular app is made of components. By default, the app.component is your entry point, and you'll organize your app in many components as you grow. And in this case, we have our app.ts here, like this. So let's talk about our application. So Angular will auto-generate the TypeScript, HTML, and CSS files for us. So if we go into our app.html, and let's go near the bottom here. So what is this? So here, underneath here, what we're going to do is we're going to put in a bit of code to show you two-way bindings in Angular, which is really powerful. So let's save that and then open up the app.t and just create a new variable in our component name. But we will need one more thing, which is the forms module, and let's add it to our imports. Perfect. And then if we head over to our application, we'll see the new code that we added. So here we got a bit of text, a h2 title, and an input field, and you'll see how it automatically gets updated with whatever we change here, which is really powerful. So Angular supports two-way binding using the ng model. It makes UI updates reactive and simple, which is amazing. Now let's create a little service. So if we stop running our application, and in the terminal, we are going to generate a new service, and that's created two new files. So, and this is our service files test unit tests. So .spec.ts is always your test files. Now back in the data.ts file, what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little method just to show as an example how we can get a method from a service. And then back in our app component, we're just going to add the data service in our constructor. And it's not called data, that's the issue. It's not called data service, it's just called data. Cool. And then on ng, so whenever the application starts running, we're just going to log a message in the console. So in here, if we refresh, oh, it's not running, let's get running. Perfect. And then if we go to develop JavaScript console, and there we go, hello from the service. It's displaying our message from the service in the console. So services help you organize logic and share data between components. Angular's built-in dependency injection makes this super clean. So it's very easy to use services and reuse code between different components. Now we're going to have a quick look at some routing. So in here we have our app route and our routing service. Now what we're going to do is we're going to update this, but first of all, stop running the application and let's create a new component and let's call that component about. So now we've got our about component here. Let's update the routes. So in here we will add about component on the about route. I'm not called about component, that's the issue. There we go, about. So now if we run our application again with ng-serve and head over to our application, it's a little bit broken, but if we go to about, we'll see how that's taken us to our about component here underneath, and we have the original component displayed. So in app.html, we should have a router outlet, which basically does the routing. Now, in order to get it quickly working for this specific video, I had to create a route path that heads over to our original component. So it's essentially displaying our original component twice. But when we do about, it's displaying our original component with the about component underneath. And if we have a look at about, you'll see that there's only this in here. So with Angular routing, switching between views is seamless. You define routes and Angular takes care of the rest. So in 2025, Angular is more modern and lightweight than ever. You can now use standalone components, enhanced signals for reactivity, and improve performance out of the box. And I would honestly say Angular is one of the best ways to create modern web applications. So I definitely highly recommend it. And that's it for your crash course into Angular. If this has helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment if you want a full tutorial series. Happy coding!